guys, welcome back to the Side Dish Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Shin, joined as always by my co-host, Jay Lee.
Hey.
We've got James Chung in the house joining us.
What's up?
And today's very special guest is none other than Tamara Blank, my friend from improv.
Hi.
We're not allowed to say your last name.
Wait, what's your last name?
Swoager.
I was wondering how you pronounced it.
Swoager.
Do you know where it's from?
Probably something German, but it's like,
That's all I needed to hear.
yeah. I don't know, yeah.
Say no more.
Say no more.
And you're from Pittsburgh. You are from Pittsburgh.
Wait,
Yeah.
you're from Baden. Baden?
How do you know what Baden is?
It's where you're from.
Oh, no, you actually did research?
Yeah, I did a little bit of
I thought you were
research.
trying to do mentalism
This
on her.
Is crazy. So I'm not from Baden, but the orphanage slash college prep program thing that I grew up in, that at the address for when I went to college, they were like, just mail it to our main office in Baden.
Dude, you just unlocked some fucking serious trauma, man.
I was like, my heart dropped.
She was trying to forget.
going
She was
in.
trying to forget that she
going
lived in an
in
orphanage in
The
Baden.
deep end at the top.
We're off to a great start, guys.
You were a youth pastor at the Korean United Presbyterian Church of Pittsburgh.
This is fucking wild.
I'm so glad James is on the podcast with us because these are all things that I wish I had the time and energy to do, like really research you. Please do tell.
Yeah, so that's wild, right?
Yeah.
So
Which, for the listeners, Tammy you were white passing.
I'm white passing. I'm half white, half native. But
But you're not you're not visibly Korean.
I'm not Korean at all.
Yeah.
I'm not visibly Korean. I'm not ethnically Korean. I'm not spiritually Korean.
But how
Very
did you
Korean.
come into that? That's what I want to
Okay,
know.
yeah, so-
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
They saw you, like a pastor saw you and was like, "You need a Jesus," and then he welcomed you into his church.
Damn, that is the
And
worst.
you listened to their praise team, and you're like, "These guys are just like Yellow Card."
That's where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought it'd be more like, yo.
I thought you were going to be really racist.
But for me, it's like the food after service is kind of good though.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Everyone been going off
I
online
started-
about that shit recently. Black service versus
I saw that
Korean
clip,
service.
but they're talking
Yeah.
about the
Okay,
black
you guys,
service
we're
was.
unpacking a lot right now.
Listen,
Yeah, let's slow down.
'Cause
And
I
let
had to go to
Tamara-
black church.
let Tamara talk. So Tamara also has two black sisters. Basically, listeners,
I have many
this
black-
is really funny because off mic and in chats, I was getting the impression maybe Tamara doesn't want to talk too much about her past, which is totally fine. But it was my original intention having you on the pod because you are one of the more interesting people that I know, just in terms of biography.
Thanks.
And that is a compliment because you have a lot of like interesting experiences, such as being a Korean youth pastor or being white passing Native American or, growing up in Pittsburgh and coming to Korea, all that stuff, right? And not to mention your tattoos, which is what my wife was like, you should interview her about her tattoos.
That's the crazy.
and I was like, I never even thought of that. That'd be great. But
Yeah.
start and end wherever you want to tell that story. But how did you end up at a Korean church of all churches?
Okay, so how did I end up at the Korean church? So let's rewind back to, I think, 2017. I had lived in China for a little bit as an art teacher.
That's at the Olive International School.
What the fuck, dude?
You were an art teacher.
Do you have a website you use or something? This is crazy.
I am wiping my entire identity offline.
I don't know where you're getting
absolutely
it.
hate
Where
this.
do you get this information from, James?
Listen, it's Tamara. We have to know.
It's weird. Do some dark web shit. Anyway, Tamara,
Okay,
how do you respond?
so yeah, I was at a underground Christian school because I was technically a missionary. This is when I was still a Christian.
okay.
And I went there totally on a whim. So for this job, we were told that we were going to get the appropriate visas. But then our boss was like, actually, we don't feel like doing that. You're going to stay on a visitor visa. And you need to leave every 60 days so that you don't get caught working
Where'd you
here.
go?
So the first time I went to Hong Kong and then I went to Korea.
Sick.
And
I love
I
that
was
place.
like, I fuck with Korea, man. First of all, it's so clean. Everyone's so nice.
Yes.
Everyone was
Go on.
fucking
Blaze.
nice. It was like a literal and figurative breath of fresh air being here.
Wow.
And I was like, I think I'm going to come back here at some point. But I kind of put it in the back of my head and then came back home. And then somebody was like, hey, you lived in Asia. Do you want to work at this Korean church? And I was like, China and Korea are totally different. But yeah, I'll work there.
Okay. Oh, so you worked at a Korean church because of racism?
Oh, totally.
And
Yeah.
you took advantage
Not
of
me
it?
though. I'm not the racist one.
Yeah, you're like, yes, I was
Yeah.
working in Korea. Yes.
Yeah.
So then, okay, Korean church in Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Dude, that sounds like so many at-risk kids. So many at-risk.
like-
It's a Korean church?
It's a
Koreans.
Korean church, and all the kids are very wealthy because all their parents are like doctors and
even
like,
more at risk.
lawyers. Yeah.
Even more at
They're
risk.
at risk of becoming ABGs.
That's such a stupid joke.
I don't get it.
So I think Tamara asked the question off mic, what is an ABG? It is an Asian baby girl.
Oh, I hate that.
Dude,
I
this
was-
is
I
so
was-
fun.
I was trying to think of,
to
like-
teach you about ABGs is such an honor.
Can you give me an example of an ABG?
Ooh.
Well, they're most commonly, I think most commonly located in the greater Los Angeles area of California, as well as maybe
I'd
New
say
York.
it's a little bit more universal.
It's pretty
But I think
universal
it's
now.
a general stereotype.
Toronto
right?
has a lot of ABGs.
I think
Okay.
it sort of came out of this, from the way I understand it. It's like sort of like a stereotype of this kind of person that goes to like EDM shows, and a lot they like love boba, and
It's just very sexy Asian girls that wear dark tones and a lot of makeup.
Oh, so just like
And like
An
a lot
Asian
of
that grew
a
up
lot
in
of like
the West.
leisure wear. No, but not just an Asian who grew up in the West, because there's just so many different types of Asian Americans. But ABG is an aesthetic that is almost more akin to, I would say, like Hispanic culture. It's like the Asians spin on like a sassy
Chicana.
Latina, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I would maybe interpret it.
I also I mean when I brought up ABGs, I was trying to think of like what's like the
The quintessential ABG.
no what's like the also I was trying to be more inclusive and include at least like the male counterpart.
Well,
I
there's-
guess it's
I
usually
think, like, a
Kevin
Kevin
Nguyen.
Nguyen, yeah.
But the problem is you're not gonna find Kevin. Well, you will find Kevin Nguyen's at the Korean church, but they're not gonna be called Kevin Nguyen.
I would say like
They're gonna be called,
an
like,
ABG
John
is just like
Park.
an Asian fuck girl, but like kind of embraces it. Like is into party culture. Is like probably vapes a lot. I'd want to say.
okay.
Like was an exotic car model at one point in college. Has big breasts. I clearly know one in my head that I'm just not naming her name.
Okay.
You're making Tammy uncomfortable.
I just have never encountered anybody like
Yeah,
this.
that's so bizarre. You
I'm-
haven't. But you know what? How did we get on ABGs?
Wait,
I don't know, this is
so
wild.
so like
I'm just looking at photos of ABGs on my phone.
Jaehyun like looks at your search history like, what the fuck are you looking at?
Okay.
so you're at this Korean church.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you stay? Like, what did you like about it? Or like, what was it about it?
So first of all, I really liked how Hangul looked. I don't know if that makes sense,
Yeah,
but it's
the
a very
language.
aesthetically pleasing language. And
Good answer. That's a very
just
good
geometric.
Answer.
I just
Yeah.
really
We are the
liked
perfect
it.
language.
It makes my brain feel good. I don't know if that makes
Whoa.
sense. Like sensory. So like, but my students knew nothing about Korea or their culture, and they had no desire to. They would hate going. So they were like, oh man, like I have to go to Korea this summer with my family. I'm like, dude, that sounds awesome. Like, what are you going to do? And they're like, oh, my parents make me go to school with these Korean kids, and I can't speak Korean. So they all make fun of me for being American. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's exactly what my summers were like.
I definitely felt similarly, like having to go to Korea.
Having to go to Korea, yeah.
I have to go to Korea, like
Where it smells like sulfur everywhere.
it did. I do feel the city used to smell worse back
It
in
used
the
to
day.
reek, bro. Yeah.
Like, the parents of my kids were just so like, Korean parents love their kids. I don't know if it's because like I didn't have parents, so it's like weird for me to see it, but like I don't know how to describe it. Like the way they love their kids is so special, and I think hearing my student like from their perspective, it's like, oh my god, they put so much stress on me. Like I mean, they're like doing homework on Sundays, like during my like
Bro.
sermon, right? Like,
sure.
I'm like, can you chill out?
So you're actually like leading. You're actually doing sermons.
Yeah, like
Are-
for the youth,
Are
yeah.
you doing it every week, or are you
Yeah.
like swapping? Okay.
Yeah.
And,
So dope.
Was there ever like a go-to sermon?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, I
like
have so many go-to sermons.
Oh my god! Yeah, I was actually gonna say, if we were gonna do this on the podcast, I have a segment where I want you to bless the podcast, but using scripture to like kind of give us a little bit of, like galvanize us and like inspire us to keep going.
Yeah, so I left the faith. I don't know.
I know,
God,
are we
like,
going to be
sacri-
cursed?
I did see
I don't
it.
think I'll be
Eternity?
I
cursed.
did find a presentation online that you had about the complexity of creation.
Oh my God. Wait, was it a Prezi?
It was a Prezi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, one, did you ever like change your sermons to align with Korean culture at all at some point?
I think not Korean culture, but I remember this one specific Sunday. Something happened involving Black Lives Matter. Like there was it's so sad that I can't remember which one it was, but like I had like asked my students, like, I'm genuinely curious, like, how do you experience racism in like a predominantly white demographic? And they were like, we don't really. And then one kid was like, somebody said I might be a bad driver. And I was like, okay, so like you're never, which I didn't even know was an Asian stereotype, like bad driving.
Pretty classic one.
It's classic.
Okay.
And in defense of them, like it took me kind of getting into college or like getting a little bit older to start realizing patterns of whether it's like microaggressions or like other forms of racism. It's not to say that it's like as bad as some other races. Yeah, especially if you're going to like a well-to-do Presbyterian
It's just
church.
different
Like,
problems.
sure.
I can
Well,
imagine.
Sorry, I just going further with what you're saying is like I think it took becoming an adult to like process maybe these things that happen when you're younger to realize, oh, maybe this was like a little bit racist. I just didn't like think that it was at the time.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you're a kid, if someone does like the squinty eye thing, you might be able to brush it
I love
off.
how this is turning into what Tamara was trying to get her students to talk about.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Yeah.
yes,
Well,
no,
teacher,
it's-
I have actually experienced racism.
It's true. It's something where it's hard to have that conversation with kids because it's so normalized, right?
I mean, kids learn racism from, especially like TV back then, parents, how we perceive the world, like even like sexism. I mean, it's a totally different scale, but like there are things that I'm still realizing are microaggressions towards women. And I'm probably more aware of it now being in Korea than I would have been if I were still living in America. And yeah, but I don't think, and yeah, I was like teaching kids. They were in high school. They weren't thinking about being oppressed. You know what I mean? They were like, I need to get into an Ivy League school or my dad is going to hate me. And those were like the words that they all said to me.
Yeah.
So, but there was like, so the pastor's son was one of my students and he was a really cool kid. And I think he was like, going through this phase of really wanting to like explore his identity and like who he was. And I was really thankful the pastor like definitely saw me as his son's like spiritual advisor, even though he knew that I had more of a progressive stance on things. And I remember the son wanting to get his ears pierced and his dad being like, you should talk to Tammy and see like what she thinks
I heard
about
your
that.
body's a temple, but if you want to talk to Tammy about it, I mean, go. by
Oh
all
yeah.
means,
Is this a segue into tattoos?
What did you say?
Well, so he like messages me and he's like, do you think it's too girly to like get your ears pierced? Or what do you think about dudes getting their ears pierced? And I was like, I don't think about dudes getting their ears pierced. I don't think anybody does. If you could, I think it's your body. You can do whatever you want. You can wear whatever you want. And
This
at
is
the
what
end
you
of the day,
said?
yeah. I was like, I don't really,
That's not what the parent wanted to hear.
probably not, but I did tell them like they knew my views. They know like they know what I tell their kids and they know that I have, the thing is that I have a degree in the Bible, so they can't really like fight me on it.
So
right?
were you like brought on as a theological auditor almost to just be like, yo, is this scripturally sound? Can I say this shit? Like, can I go out there and be like, it's okay to get piercings and tattoos because as Jeremiah 4:19 says, there was ink and whatever, you know?
Yeah,
like,
right. No, when I first started at the church, I actually put together this PowerPoint presentation and I had the parents sit down and I was like, here are my views. Here's how I would tackle these difficult conversations if they were to come up. If you have any qualms about that, then I'll try to avoid that. And, but I also did things for the youth group that other pastors didn't do, like arrange like trips for like, outings for the kids for them to like hang out more because they didn't all go to the same school.
How many youth pastors were there?
They had a lot before me because it like didn't pay a lot at all. And it was always like some nerdy like white guy that they did not want to like be.
So they
friends
always
with.
had someone white.
Oh, they always had a
Bro,
white
I think
person.
so,
That's
yeah.
Whoa.
There was I had one mixed kid and his dad would come he would only come to like the family like church cookouts and everybody loved him, like the white dad. But no, I would be like the only, if there was ever like an integration with the youth group and the main service, I would be the only white person there.
Sick. How much Korean did you learn during that time?
None at all.
Even better.
But
Love it.
one of the
as much
students.
as the kids that she worked with.
Right.
Yeah, I remember asking the kids like, how do you say hello in Korean? And they're like, just say onion, like annyeong.
Oh,
Onion.
I see.
So I'm like going around like bowing to these like harboji is onion, like a fucking white idiot.
Yeah.
You should have asked ChatGPT.
They were pranking
didn't
you,
have that.
man. You were getting trolled.
Yeah, but they were good
What's your
kids.
favorite praise song?
How was your praise band in the youth church?
Those kids can rock out. I'm not gonna lie.
Hell yeah. I
I was
think
like,
all Korean
they-
church bands are fucking awesome.
I will
Yeah.
say I like enjoyed kind of the alt rock vibes of my youth group kind of youth service. But man, when I like would visit my parents after they moved to Orange County in Southern California, I remember going to a Korean church for the youth service, and they had like this one dude on bass, just the funkiest bass riffs under like with the music. And
Funkier than the kimchi that they were serving for lunch.
No, I was shook because like usually it's like a simple bass riff. I mean, it's not even easy. So you had to have someone who like loved the bass guitar so much,
Yeah.
that they mastered it, and he was just doing these like funky riffs on the bass, and I'm just
Yeah.
there being like, I love this service.
Gotta love Korean, dude. Koreans know how to fucking like party, basically. You know, I
do.
think that's just like we like love to party.
What's your favorite meal from Korean church?
Ooh,
Dude, okay, so like fellowship after, I had no idea what any of the food was called, and neither did the kids. But I just remember like having this bean sprout dish. And this is before I knew that I had celiac. So I was
okay.
getting down on everything.
oh shit.
So the favorite meal, I don't know.
Good
Probably
answer.
Any form of bibimbap was good.
Good answer.
I just
good
really
answer.
loved
no,
it.
I like. I don't know because it just is more memorable. I want to shift gears a little bit. Tell me about growing up with Black sisters, and are you connected with Black culture at all?
When I was in high school, I would hear a lot of "You're black," because I mostly hung out with Black people. Even though we went to like a predominantly white high school, my friends like saw me as like a Girls Hope girl, and they just associated that with like a person of color, which is
Were
probably
a lot
racist.
of the girls from Girls Hope
Yeah, I was
like
like
Black girls, basically.
the only white girl for most of the time there.
wow.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I do. So you grew up in the foster system.
I was in foster care when I was really, really little, but like, so like, how did it work? I was like a toddler and I was in the foster system for a very short amount of time. Like, I don't really remember it. And then my mom got us back, and then I probably should have been put back in the foster care system at some point, but my mom had left.
This is your biological mom.
My biological mom had left when I was like 13 or 14 to go live with some guy. And I was just like, either if I wasn't like at home alone, I was like living with friends or something. I like never went to school. I actually got held back for truancy. I didn't know it was illegal to not go to school, but surprise it is. They make you go to court and everything.
Usually it's the parents' fault.
Damn.
Yeah,
bro.
usually it's the parents' fault. And that's
You were
what the judge
charged
said.
with truancy.
The judge was like, so they make your parent, you can't go to court without a parent if you're underage, at least in Pennsylvania, as far as I knew at that time. So my mom was like with me, like strung out. And he was like asking me like, so why don't you go to school? And I was like, I don't really see a point if
Yeah.
I'm
The
a back
education
kid.
industrial complex is alive.
Honestly,
sir.
yeah, fuck the system.
Yeah.
But then he like looked at my mom and he was like, and where have you been? Like kind of like called my mom out.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, actually, I want to talk to you about emancipation because I wanted to like legally get emancipated so that I could work and pay the bills that needed to be paid. And then my aunt on my dad's side found out that I was going to pursue emancipation. And she was like, don't do that. Come live with us. I was like 15 at this time. And then after a few months of living with them, we found Girls Hope, and they were like,
Wow. So you entered the orphanage system much later than I thought initially. You were already a teenager.
Yeah.
You were in the midst of adolescence, dog.
Yeah.
That's rough.
And that's why Annie does not resonate.
No, man, you don't understand. It's a darker version of Annie. She's 14 going on 15. She has all black sisters.
Why did you say it like that?
Wait, I want to say it like what? Say it like what? Sisters. And it's not meant to be racial.
I think it's meant to be racial between people
Between
who
si-
say it.
between
You meant it.
Between
But,
sisters.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did I answer your question? I don't know where I'm going with
I
this.
have no idea.
Yeah. So like, and then Girls Hope. So what you were saying, how
My
do I
question
resonate
was-
with Black culture? When I got to college, I realized I was white, and that was a really hard wake up call. Actually.
So you were most comfortable around black people because those are your closest friends.
Yeah.
I see.
And then like I remember the welcome week, like everybody I would try to talk to, like at some point these girls would like continuously make comments, but why are you so loud? Or like, why do you talk like you're black or something like that? And
Did
I was
you
like,
really talk like you were black?
I didn't think so, but that's just like cultural, like, especially in a house of 8 girls, if you're not loud, you're not getting heard.
Yeah.
Especially like at the dinner table, pass me the fucking salt. Like you have to yell that shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
And you have to say fucking.
you have to say fucking, and then you'll get in trouble for like a month. It was really hard, and Christians are just so fucking dry, dude.
Dude.
And yeah,
Christians are the worst.
yeah. But
Should we
let's
Christian
stop
bash?
talking about Christians? though,
I'm
because
joking.
we're-
I
we
love
keep talking about them, and
Christians. We've talked about this before off mic. No, I love my Christian homies, bro. And I love Jesus. Like non ironically and non facetiously, I do love Jesus.
Same.
Whoever he was or is, right?
Sure,
I do
yeah.
think that it's cool to rep the big J. Okay, let's move on to Lightning Round. How was last week's comedy show? Give me one highlight, one low light.
It was too good to be true, if I'm being completely honest. It should not have went that well.
Yeah, the way you talked about it online, it was like, I can't believe, like, I'm so happy. I was so happy for you. I was bummed I missed it.
Yeah, it was. I literally could not believe how many people showed up, and then how well it went, because the only rehearsal that we had with everybody together was the rehearsal right before the show. And it was just really special because Tamara, Tasia, Nicole, and I took 101 and 201 together, and that was our first show together since our graduation show. So that was really special, and I think for most people in that show, that was their first real show.
Yeah.
So for those in the audience, Tammy hosted her first improv comedy show.
Yeah.
Biggest turnout of the year.
It was, I mean, I had a great time watching you guys kill it on stage for sure.
Yeah.
And so, James, since you're the leader of SCI, why don't you announce when the next all-girls show hosted by Tamara is going to be?
Oh, that's up to Tammy to decide.
Next February. I don't know, because like I am so proud of how that show went. James did not have to let us put on that show. And honestly, you had every reason to not let us put on that show. Like,
Yeah, they were bad.
it was like not
Tamara told me that their rehearsals were bad.
the first rehearsal especially was not great. People don't come regularly. But it worked. It worked when it needed to, and that's fine. And I messed up a lot hosting. I kept forgetting to like ask for suggestions, which is like the main part of like being a host.
Okay, what's up with the tattoos?
I don't know
We have
what
to
you
know.
mean by that.
I don't know. Jaehyun has this theory that you have a big tattoo on your body somewhere.
I do. I have like a sleeve I'm working on, and I have other ones. So like these are the flowers from everywhere I've lived so far.
Oh, that's cool.
So I have the China plum blossom, the Muhwanga from Korea, and then New Orleans is technically the Fleur de Lure, but it looks vaginal, so I got a magnolia instead for New Orleans.
Straight
I have
up.
sunflowers up here. I used to have a Yahweh here because I was a freshman I was like a cool hipster freshman in 2012, and I got Yahweh here.
Dude, that's what's up.
And then I covered it up with a snake, which is ironic.
Oh, you have
I
a
guess.
cover-up tattoo?
Yeah.
That's how you know you're
and
a
then the
real
snake
tattoo
goes down
person.
here. And I got these all in Korea.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that didn't, because Jen's question was like, would that have interfered with your duties, like serving in the church and stuff? But it sounds like you weren't that tatted up.
No, I wasn't, but I wanted to be, and
Oh, but that's right. Scripture says your body's a temple.
yeah, I can do whatever I want with my temple. So,
Is that really what Scripture says?
I mean, don't don't make me get into exegesis here and what scripture says, because I will go off on a rant so fast.
Exegesis, dude. Haven't heard that word in a
Since
while.
your days
As an apologist for Jesus. Okay, this sounds like a great time to. Damn.
We didn't do any of my side dishes.
No, we're gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna cut like 30 minutes out of that
Church rant?
Yeah,
Thank
dude, that
God.
was way too
We're
windy.
talking
of a
about
talk.
church a lot.
Yeah. So, pivoting.
Wait,
What?
I sidebar.
Oh, gosh, shut the fuck up, James.
No. Before we get into that, I really love the fact that we brought up Queer Church, because it's such a like crucial topic in like the queer American identity.
It is. I put on the outline like we love talking about.
For certain Korean Americans.
Yeah.
But 70%, I think. The last time I checked the number, and you see it on Beef, and it's like a big
I know.
part of.
If we could go back in time and redo the podcast name, I would call it Church Camp, and every episode would just be interviewing another Korean American or other person who like has a relationship with church camps, because I can go on for a long time about my experiences growing up doing that. But that's not. We're called the side dish, and that's why, Tamara, what is your side dish that you brought today?
So have you watched The Pit?
Oh, Jan loves that show, the medical drama.
Yeah, that's based in Pittsburgh.
Yes. Oh, it's
Yeah.
based in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Does
So
that make me like it more or less, knowing that it's based in Pittsburgh?
I kind of refused to watch it because I'm a huge Severance fan, and I wanted them to win the Emmy for it. And
Oh.
the Pit won.
Oh, you were salty.
But
Yeah.
didn't
So,
Severance
like-
win before? Win an award before?
He's not really a Severance fan, because he would know
Is
that.
it like a
They must
procedural
have.
drama? I haven't seen
So
it.
It's a medical
It's a
drama.
medical drama,
Yeah.
but what makes it so different is that it's like there's no like romance in it, and it takes place over one working shift. So every episode is like 1 hour of that shift.
It's like 24.
I don't know. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, she's 6 years younger than me, so you don't know 24.
No, I mean, I guess I
24.
know 24, but I've never like watched it to know what it is.
Yeah, I didn't watch. I just knew
Oh,
each
okay,
episode
okay.
is an hour
Okay.
of this like
But
dude's
the-
like
but the
mission.
Pit
He's
is
like all
great.
around the world in like each hour.
No, because I've
What?
seen an episode I've seen like many kind of like just watching a little bit here and there, but it's so like nonstop. It's like the West Wing of medical dramas.
But I bring it up because nobody in that show speaks proper Pittsburghese. And there's this nurse, like the main nurse, tries so hard to do an accent, but she sounds like she's from like fucking Boston or something. And it's nails on a chalkboard every time.
Give us an example of a word that is quintessentially Pittsburghese.
Like red up. Like red up the house. Like go
Red up.
clean the
Ready
house.
up.
Ready
Red
up,
up,
red up
red
the
up.
house. Wash. Well, it's more prominent in like my parents, my
Wash,
grandparents.
like-
Washington D.C. washing machine.
Wednesday, Tuesday,
Wednesday? Tuesday?
Yeah.
That's so cute. Do all Pittsburghians sound like toddlers?
Yeah, your Pittsburgh accent earlier is it's changed now, knowing you, like having found out this information.
Imagining a grown ass man in a pickup truck, like, "Hey Pete, I want this concrete done by Monday or Tuesday." I know, but it's I don't know why that's so funny. Monday, Tuesday.
Like, go downtown on Tuesday.
Oh, careful! You sounded a little bit Boston right there.
That was not Boston. Downtown is, you know what? I'll fight you.
Hey, they could be doctors
Yeah.
that are transplants to Pittsburgh.
Not nurses. Doctors, all doctors are transplants to Pittsburgh, so that's okay. Nurses, nah. And she talks
dude.
about being from Pittsburgh.
She's from like Pittsburgh adjacent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Closer to
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. It's really far away.
She's from Lancaster.
Oh my God.
Lancaster, sorry. Lancaster.
She's from Intercourse.
Why do you even know that's a place?
It's a real city in
That's
You
something
know
it
what?
is.
I've learned to never question James when he busts out a random fact. I just have my astonished face. Since none of us have seen The Pit, unfortunately, that side dish is being thrown away. What's your other side dish you brought?
Okay, here's a side dish that I want to talk about. Have you guys seen the meme of that little monkey that was abandoned?
I did see
and
that.
so the zookeepers gave it a stuffed orangutan, and so the orangutan is like its mom, basically. And then the little monkey goes up to the grown monkey and tries to like be like, "Will you be my family?" And the monkey pushes the little monkey away.
It's awful. It's really heartbreaking to watch.
It's awful, and I cry at that shit all the time. But because it's also like my first day of the cycle, like I've been sobbing for the past 17 hours. And you know what really pisses me off? what pisses me off is like, who decided to post that in today's climate? You know what I mean? Like, we need another thing to fucking
I
cry
see.
over.
We need more boy throb, you know?
Yeah. Well,
What?
The person
Is-
well, James is talking about something completely different, okay?
Okay.
I'm just thinking about
all
positivity.
content is for clicks and engagement. So some people want boy throb shit.
What is boy throb?
I mean, you watch Heated Rivalries. It's just that shit.
I wanted that to be my side dish.
Yeah.
but
That is
Miriam
not
beat
what I
me
was
to
talking
it.
about, but I'm happy to.
What do you mean by boy throb? Elaborate. Then what
Boy
is that?
love?
No,
No,
boy
the
love would
newest
be.
boy, the newest like boy group coming out of the United States.
Are they called boy throb?
Yeah.
No, are you making that? You're trolling me.
No,
right?
I'm dead.
Oh, I
ass.
hate that.
I'm
I hate that.
gonna make you watch some of their content after.
Boy throb. It's such a throwback word. Throb, like heart throb from like the
Mm-hmm.
80s. That's so genius. Wow.
The fan club. It's
joking.
either the Throb Mob or Throbbers.
I hate it. I hate it.
Ooh, throb mob sounds like it might get some traction. Well, I was gonna say going back to okay, so that video of that monkey is really hard to watch because it's sad, but people do like sad content and they want to feel like they want to be like, I'm a good person because I care about this monkey, which is my reaction. But then I had to zoom out a bit and be like, nah, I don't care about that monkey. It's super sad. It's undoubtedly. But it's only sad because he has that fucking doll, and it makes it seem like he's like, you're not gonna be my mommy. This is my mommy, and he's like carrying it around. But like, dude, nature is nature. I mean, you guys follow that Instagram handle, Nature is Metal. It's like this person who only
yeah.
splits its content of like animals just being cruel to each other. Frankly,
I'm pretty sure that started as a subreddit.
I think it's not cruel to. It's just animals
right.
in nature and like.
well, nature taking its course, which sometimes and
Yeah.
cruelty
It's
doesn't
pretty
even
gnarly.
belong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
as a
pretty.
word in there because it's not cruelty. You're right,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
violent. It's
Unforgiving.
It's indifferent.
It's indifferent.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
unforgiving. So when I see that thing of the monkey, I realize, oh, only a human would ever, like assign meaning to this.
Sure. Yeah. I think also what I've realized about myself is like, since I hit like 30, I've become very like maternal and sensitive about that kind of stuff. Like maybe it's also because like I have a pet dog. Like after adopting a dog, I became really sensitive about like animals and stuff.
Right. Oh, that's
but-
right. You have a dog.
I do.
What's your dog's name again?
Odin.
So I follow Odin on Instagram.
Nice.
What
Yeah.
kind of what breed is Odin?
Odin is a poodle, and he was born without an eye, so that's why I named him Odin.
Oh, very cute.
yeah.
And
his,
Odin from Norse mythology doesn't
Yeah.
have an eye.
I think
yeah,
didn't he
he
lose
gave
it?
his eye to save his people, I think, or whatever. Yeah.
Oh.
I assumed it was
Yeah.
war based.
Okay. Should we talk side dish now? Dogs. Ooh, that came out wrong. Is
We
the new
can.
topic going to be dogs?
I don't really have anything else to say.
Yeah, I mean, you have a dog.
I have a dog.
I guess owning a dog doesn't really do much for your like cachet anymore, like it did in its heyday. Which I don't know when that was, but I think like having a dog used to be such a conversation starter, like an extension of your identity, a way to meet people, bond with people. I don't know. In 2026, I don't think people give a shit about dogs that much anymore. I think people give a shit about human babies. I think we're
You're
turning
in a
back.
bubble. You're in a bubble.
Do we
I do live in a
pivot
bubble.
to
But
talking
let me
about
tell you,
Lucas?
I think people are starting to care about procreation a little bit more.
Actually, so that's another thing about turning. Okay, how do I word this? Nobody taught me that like women go through a second puberty when they hit like 30, and nobody taught me or told me the fact that once you hit 30, you have a whole different perspective. You look at everything so differently, but also like let's look at it medically, like the ovulation part of your cycle, right? And so like. Wait, I feel like
This is shit that I want to talk about at the top of the episode. I'm so glad we finally got there.
So like there are points I've always been like, I don't want to have children. There's not one part of me that wants to experience pregnancy or birth. That seems terrible. I might adopt, whatever. But like since I turned 30, I'm like, I'll have a kid. I'll have kids.
I was
and
just
then I
talking about
babysit
this.
like Lucas, and I'm like, I need a kid. I need a
Well,
kid.
because when I was dating in my 20s, I dated so many girls who said, I don't think I ever want kids. And as a guy, I was like, that's cool. That's your decision. Most guys don't really want kids, at least, especially at that age. And it was more common for girls to say that than to say they wanted to have a family, in my experience, at least, my narrow experience. And then I was talking to Jan about that too. And she's like, yeah, I used to say that on dates all the time in my 20s. And then something changed. Yeah. And I think that happened with a lot of that's why this year, especially, I'm turning 38 next week. Like a disproportionate number of friends from my year and the year below us from college had kids or having kids this year. Like a crazy amount where I'm like, this is not coincidental. There's something cultural too, right? Whether you want to account to COVID or just getting older. Like a lot of my friends' wives are about 33, 34, a few years younger than us. Gianna was 34 when 35 when she got pregnant with Lucas. I can't even remember how old my beautiful young wife is. Maybe 29.
It's
You guys are the same age.
What? Why would I marry someone the same age as me? That's what?
But yeah, I mean, like, but I think that's just what most women go through.
Yeah.
I don't think,
But not all women.
but not all women. And I think in my core, I probably don't actually want kids, but it's like,
It sounds
the instinct
interesting at times.
yeah, it sounds like more appealing as I get older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of like your descendants and your kids, you guys hear about Sunghoon from Singles Inferno being confirmed not to be the grandson of former Korean president? No one
really?
cares. Yeah, it was a rumor that he was a.
I thought that was confirmed.
No, it was debunked.
Oh wow, he looks just like him.
Kind of, but you look. I mean, honestly, you could probably say that any of one of us looks like some dead
He
famous
looks like
person.
a caricature of it was Lee Myung-bak.
Yeah. So anyway, Tamara, you might have been a minister at a Korean church, but you do not know Korean reality TV.
I do know Singles Inferno. I tried to watch it. I hate it.
You did.
I hate it. That could be a side dish. Let me rant about Singles Inferno. No, go on. Go on.
No,
your
no.
thing.
Actually, no. I want you to go off because we can clip this and rage bait a bunch of new viewers. So
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Shows like Singles Inferno and like Love Island and stuff. Obviously, like everyone's hot, like conventionally hot on that show, and like that's fine. But Pretty Privilege has such a strong. If you're hot, you should not have such a hard time finding love, right? And if you have to go onto a TV show because your personality sucks that bad, because your pretty privilege isn't working, why do I want to watch a TV show of everybody who sucks?
Yeah. Basically,
And I just
when you
thought-
watch something like Singles Inferno, you just hate all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's valid. It's a valid reason to avoid the show.
So that's why I remember watching with my friends, and I'm like, first of all, this is just like every other dating show ever. They're all just hot, and that's the only thing they have in common. Also, I can't keep up with these fucking subtitles because my Korean isn't that good.
I mean, you know that
Speak-
they have English subtitles, right?
Yeah, Jay. I'm saying like it goes really fast.
She's saying she can't read, Jay.
I can't fucking
can't read
read,
good,
Jay.
okay?
God.
Dick.
My bad.
Have you seen
Jesus.
Zoolander?
Well, you said, yeah, okay.
Yes.
My bad.
Haven't you seen Zoolander? Okay. I want to end on. I just watched Marty Supreme last night. Has anyone seen it yet?
Not
have
yet. I want
I'm
to,
actually
though.
sick and tired of watching Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, okay. Then you know what? I'll just go fuck myself. Should
Was it good?
yeah.
I'm not sick of Timmy C.
It was
I
okay.
can
It was
watch
okay.
him all day.
I'm curious because Oscars will be coming up in like 2 weeks. I want to say 3 weeks. And I do want to watch, I haven't done this in so long, but I want to watch every movie that's up for Best Picture this year. And like, just kind of, why not?
I would watch Marty Supreme.
It's
but
worth watching.
There was just this point where I didn't know who this guy was, but he was everywhere.
Timothy Chalamet is everywhere. I
And
agree.
I don't hate the guy. I find him to be a reasonably good actor, but like, it's just it's immersion breaking when he's also like he's like in Dune, and then he's like Willy Wonka, and then he's Marty Supreme, and then he's some other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like I feel like I'm just watching like alternate universes of this one dude. Like there are a lot of diverse faces and actors, and I don't mean racially. I mean just literally like people that don't necessarily just look as gaunt as him.
He looks, he's too skinny, frankly. And I'm not body shaming Timothy Chalamet. I'm observing that in the movie, they made him very skinny, probably with CGI, but he's very frail. It was a great movie. His acting performance is not the best performance in the movie, though. And it's clearly overshadowed by another person in the film. So I encourage you guys to watch it just so we can chop on that.
I'll watch
because
it.
I really
I'll watch
hope this
it.
other actor gets his or her
Odessa
accolades.
Zion.
Yeah. Well, who?
Isn't that her name? Odessa
I have
Zion.
no idea. Is she in that movie?
Yeah.
It's probably her because she's incredible. She's really, really good. And I'm like, she deserves an Oscar. Timothée Chalamet, I think, is a little too cocky because he's like really young and he's definitely talented. But even in this movie, I can see, honestly, if I were trying to be a dick about it and like critique him, there were many scenes where I was like, you should do that scene again and say it not like Timothée Chalamet reciting lines and as Marty Mauser, the character in this film who, you know, isn't Timothée Chalamet. He's not as cool as or sexy as Timothée Chalamet. He's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think enough work was done by Chalamet on that part, but it's still like a really watchable movie. And I was very entertained. So I actually think it's better than No Battle After Another, whatever it's called.
One Battle After Another.
I think it's better than One Battle.
I could not enjoy that movie.
Yeah, I had trouble enjoying that. But you liked One Battle After Another.
I
Yeah.
liked it.
People liked it.
I think I should watch it again.
I think I need to give it. I'll give it a. I'm open minded. I'll like give it a second shot, like another shot. But I thought it felt too much like a series of just like vignettes.
Yeah.
It was trying to tell a very like deep story about, I don't know,
radicalism.
yeah,
and-
but I like just couldn't. It was just a lot of. It moved really fast.
almost like The Pit, which was one of Tamara's side dishes she brought today.
Not good enough, apparently.
Yeah, I mean,
Not a good enough side dish.
did you have any other side dishes you want to?
I feel like I had so many, and I'm
You
just like,
texted me. You're like, I have so many. I was like, bring
I was
all
like,
of
the
them.
pit, this monkey, turning 30, and
Did you just turn 30, or are you turning
no,
30?
I'm gonna be 33 in like a week.
33.
And you're gonna be we have like the same birthday week.
Wait, what are you, March 3rd?
I'm March 3rd,
I'm March 7th. Yeah,
and it's gonna be my what I'm considering my golden birthday, but it's not
bro.
actually.
It's your golden birthday. You're 33, and you're a Pisces. You are
33.
You're Jesus. You're Jesus.
I'm gonna die this year, so keep an eye out for that.
Keep an eye out for a side dish exclusive.
We're live at Tammy's death.
Oh my god. Real talk. Do you have a favorite pantan? Favorite Korean side dish that you would eat at your Korean church back in the day? You don't know the name probably.
So this is gonna be very basic, and I don't know if it even counts, but I really love moo.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like
Counts.
moo with
definitely
like
counts.
yeah, like the radish, the pickled ones.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
it.
Tamara. Thank you so much for being on this episode of the Side Dish Podcast. Like and subscribe. Follow us at _the side dish on Instagram, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Peace.
Thank you.
Onion.
Onion.
Onion.